The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign, trusted by over 500 NFL players for their winning smiles, and broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now, your host, Nicole Hutchison.
Wake up, Cowboys Nation. Welcome in to Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign in the SWBC studio. I'm Nicole Hutchison alongside Brianna Aldridge, Christy Scales, Aisha Morrison. Ladies, what's popping? Good morning. Happy Tuesday? Wednesday.
It's New Year's Eve.
Wow,
Is it still Eve?
My days are running together.
Is it still technically Eve, even though it's not evening?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
It's New
This
Year's
is
Eve.
the day before, so yeah.
All right, y'all not gonna do me like this. Like, look,
It's all good.
we just talked about Bree yesterday and her students. She said, "Ain't no questions." I guess
That part.
it's all right.
It's all right.
Leave me alone.
Yeah, it's fine. Happy New
I
Year's
already
Eve, everybody.
tweeted it out.
Woo, it's a good day. Well, every day is a great day. But unfortunately, the Cowboys have lost one of their longtime players. Was catalytic players in Trevon Diggs yesterday. But I want to go to the soundbite from Jerry Jones because we heard from him on the Fan that morning, and then the waiving of Trevon Diggs happened that afternoon. Let's take a listen to what Jerry Jones had to say.
I'm sorry, it's
Or
not
not.
playing.
That's all right. We'll come back to that. We'll come back to that in a second. But no, basically the message was, that the secondary would look a lot different in 2026. And then the news of Trevon Diggs happening. Thoughts, first reactions of the news, and whoever wants to go, y'all got it.
Well, I know it surprised a lot of people, but it shouldn't have, because you likely weren't going to play him anyway this Sunday because you don't want him to get hurt and then you're on the hook for part of the contract and things like that. So, frankly, I was surprised that they played him last week. I was mildly surprised because same thing, you don't want him to get hurt. And then the reports come out about him, the flight or not on the flight, coming home and wanting to stay in Washington, D.C. And I think that was just finally the maraschino cherry on top of the sundae of a lot of different things that the team and he had stopped trusting each other, and he wasn't performing on the field. And I don't think anyone should be surprised. Mildly, the timing a bit, but if you think about it, you shouldn't be surprised because I don't think he was playing this weekend anyway.
Fair. Yeah. My little analogy of how I look at the Diggs situation, and I bring it up because to your last point about him not producing on the field anymore, that's a big part of it. You deal with a lot more when they're producing on the field. I kind of look at it as the dating world, guys. Okay, the cute guy gets away with a lot of stuff, right? But you can't be not good looking and rude. Like, I can't do nothing with that. Like, that's how I look at the situation. You can't be the hard person to deal with and not producing on the field. And that's what it kind of seemed like. And like you said, the final straw, I saw the reports too about, him wanting to stay back with his family for the holidays and things like that, and asking to and being denied. And you can't do what you want. This isn't, and not in Shoddy's world. He's made it very clear that's not what he's building. And you felt the tension going back all the way again to training camp. Little subliminals here and there, starting with Jerry about signing people too early, with the $500,000 that he lost for not training here and kind of doing his own thing. And then he did make it back on the field. And even when he got back on, he was saying things like, I didn't think I was going to be playing as much as I did my first game back. And they just felt like, they just never felt like they were on the same page, even later on with the scheme with Matt Eberflus. So I don't think and I think that's what Christy was saying. It wasn't just like Diggs was having an issue with DC or the head coach or the front office. It just felt like so many things building up, and it kind of felt like a soap opera.
Yeah.
And it came to an end yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, Bree put it nicely when she said you can't be not good looking and rude too. I think that's a really good way to look at it. Is especially in this football world, we've seen guys be able to navigate organizations, be able to do things. And if you're producing on the field, it is easier to navigate that. But for me, I mean, I hope this doesn't come off as blunt, but like for 2 years almost, I've looked at film on this defense and I haven't seen Trevon Diggs on there consistently. And so it is difficult to, like for me, I wasn't surprised. I was surprised in the moment because of the timing, like Christy said. But like so much of football is availability. So much of football is production. Like that's something that even Will McClay, when he talks about the draft, that's one of the first thing he mentions, production. You're not producing. There's nothing. And then what you are producing, as Bree just said, is vitriol to some degree. Like there's always some issues and stuff like that. And so for me, I know a lot of people looked at it. I was kind of keeping my ears low to the ground yesterday. A lot of people thought it was a little petty, that the Cowboys deciding that he could not stay home with his family. And I think it's easy to look at it that way initially. You're like, oh, okay, well, why wouldn't they let him stay? Why would they do that? But to you ladies' point, this is a culmination of a lot of things. It's like asking go stay at your friend's house to your parents.
Mama say no.
And baby, they ain't seen their progress report.
Well, ask ahead of time.
Yeah.
Ask ahead of time.
So that
has happened
tell
many
us that.
times.
Okay.
Yes. Do not wait until,
My family's there.
So when was the request put in? Because I think that's good contextually.
That's
Apparently
the part and I think Nick Harris cleared that up
Yeah.
from the original reports that it happened
After the game,
which is
you don't-
It's very much insane. I've been
That's very
a part
good.
of 3 other organizations, and I have had guys who've had speaking arrangements following the game where they didn't have practice. They were from going to Buffalo, playing in New York in the actual city, and they wanted to stay there.
Or going into a bye weekend.
Yeah.
If there's nothing back here that you have to do.
Yeah, like not like they got practice the next day. You're not getting requested. But again, I've had players, be like, I asked coach ahead of time. To your point, but I've never heard of anybody asking.
And look, you cannot preach culture. It's like a teacher. If that one person is in the class is going along with the flow, you've got to, you have to be responsible to the other players on the team as well.
At the end of the day, he wasn't handling his business the way that he was supposed to be handling his business. And that's what I was gathering throughout the entire season. So if you're not fitting into that, like Christy said, if Shotty can't preach culture, if you are not willing to buy into that culture. And honestly, I feel like we've talked about it all season. Like since the whole Micah Parsons trade, if kind of felt a little bit like Trevon, of course, missed his brother, but like didn't necessarily try to be here, if that makes sense. And so, the production wasn't there. We talked about it earlier in the week, that he allowed the highest passer rating amongst cornerbacks on 20 targets since 2020. So granted, the production hasn't been there either. He's battled injuries throughout his 6 years here with the Cowboys. So granted, best of luck to Trevon, but now it's time to move forward for the Cowboys. But I do want to make sure we do play the soundbite. So let's take a listen to what Jerry Jones had to say yesterday on The Fan.
Sorry,
It's all good.
It's like a tease. Like,
Well, what I wanted to say
That part.
is
Chaos. It's chaos. Look, it's fine. It's all good. All right. It's fine. We're going to hopefully that it plays in a few. But if you remove... If you remove, all the success that Trevon did have, his second year in the NFL and things like that, do you feel like that could have potentially, that production could have potentially maybe returned if he were to stay in a 2026 season? Maybe.
I don't know that he was the same player physically with the knee.
That's fair.
And that's so for everyone to say, well, he's not what he was. Well, there's a lot of mileage on that, and he overcame. A lot of things with his knee to get back. But it's also style of play too, right? And so it wasn't, it's like everything didn't mesh this year, right? And so what he felt most comfortable doing is not what he was asked to do all the time.
Yeah, and the style of play is very contingent. Like the way that secondary play, when Trevon Diggs was at his best, his pass rush was at its best.
Sure.
And so I feel like those two not being married to each other came into play. But I went, Nicole, I'm in the mindset of you. I'm ready to move on. I think this team has. One thing I will say with Shotty is that it feels like this season in particular, even in training camp, things like that, like when you talk about the culture and them trying to do things, I do feel like if a guy is an issue in the locker room, they are starting to try to weed that out quicker and trying to fix that and trying to mediate that. And I don't really have a problem with it. I truly am over it. I truly want to move forward and start talking about corners next week in a draft. It just is what it is. It's not there hasn't been enough that's been done positively for me to care a whole bunch. And I really do. I'm always very much player first. I'm always respectful to players and their lives that they live and stuff. But it's time. This is taking too much media attention. This is taking too much attention off of the football stuff. It's about that time.
Yeah, and financially, now you'll have you've got $6 million hit that you're going to have to eat, but you're also saving $12 million that we say, oh, we want Pickens, we want Javonte Williams.
Need all the pennies,
get Brandon
of course.
Aubrey redone. Oh, yeah, bring back Clowney.
Every dollar
counts.
It does.
Every dollar counts.
It's definitely time to regroup, refocus. I just want to say, like, personal experience with Trevon, like, he's always been kind and things like that. So when we're talking about issues, I just want to, like, give him the grace of clarifying, like, not to media personally, at least in my experience. I know there's things on social media going viral. I don't think that gives a true perception of who he is. And I just say that because I was never the really loud vocal leader to my final year in college. And I think people took that, my first coach took it as perception that I didn't care. I just felt like how I played on the field showed up. And I think he's the kind of guy, like, the issues we're talking about in the locker room is not buying in. It's not necessarily bringing, arguments to guys. And he's not that kind of guy, but he's not buying in, and you could tell there was tension. So I just wanted to, like, clear that.
No, that's a good point, because me and Nicole were talking about this offline, is that our experiences with him were typically positive as well. It's just, I mean, it don't matter how we get along with him, no matter how everybody else do too.
Yeah, and it sucks because, I mean, we talk about it all the time of everybody looks at just the player that they are, He was always nice to me. He was always nice to you ladies as well, especially in passing. So, again, I do want to wish him the best of luck wherever he does land because it's not an indictment on who he is as a person. So thank you for clarifying that, Brie.
Yeah.
Shout out to Trevon.
And this is in his best interest too, to get a fresh start somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, somebody might pick him up. Somebody might give him the opportunity. People are gonna bring him in for a workout. We've seen guys get workouts for less.
The name itself
in this league, the name itself, what he was able to do, things like that. People are gonna feel like it's worth seeing what he can physically do. Now, I do agree with Christy. I think, in fairness, a lot of the corners' footwork look crazy this year. I don't know what's going on over there.
All the numbers.
But a lot of I'm saying their technique look funky this year in some ways that I hadn't experienced. And he experienced that as well, to where I felt like sometimes when you expect for him to put his foot in the ground, turn and run and, mirror the receiver, that's something he's done incredibly well through his career. Didn't seem like he had the drive and the speed to do that. And again, that could be a technique thing. That could have been him acclimating back into being in football shape and stuff. But I am curious to see him move forward and see how he progresses. And if he is, that's still that same player. Ain't nobody rooting on his downfall over here.
Absolutely not.
But it's just not. It just hasn't been working over here for a minute. This just is what it is.
And if he clears waivers today, which he likely would, because if he's claimed by another team, then they would pick up the contract and he would get $472,000 for playing the final week of the season, plus the $58,000 per game incentive. So, over $500,000 for a team that you hadn't maybe had one practice with or so. But anyway, once you clear waivers, then he could sign with anyone. So there is a chance that if a team in the playoffs needs help at corner.
Yeah.
So
that would be dope if he ended up on a playoff team. That would be dope. All right, we're going to try one last time. Third time's a charm. We're going to hope that we can hear this soundbite from Jerry Jones. We're going to go ahead and play it right now.
Was the most impactful is that we had a high expectation in our secondary. And I thought we would be good at all phases of it. We were new coming in with the linebackers, which can be a part of the secondary. But that secondary, and is because of various reasons, but the secondary really had issues regarding personnel, time on the field, time at practice. We weren't ambitious. We knew that some of those guys would be getting back and their limited NFL experience when they did get back from injury. And so I would say that's the area that just as the year before, I'll remind you, and you wouldn't necessarily remember it, but I thought our offensive line the year before, Mike McCarthy, was the letdown that really was glaring for us as to what we were thinking we'd have. I'd say your secondary this year.
I want that to marinate. We're going to take our first break here on Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign. Break down what this secondary could look like moving forward, the confidence level in those guys that we do have still remaining on this roster. We're going to take our first break here on Girls Talk, Boys Talk, and be right back.
When you're on the field, you know what it takes to lead your team and play with confidence. But that confidence shouldn't just stop at game time. It should follow you off the field, too. Join over 500 NFL players who trust Invisalign, the #1 doctor-recommended clear aligner brand. Ready to take the first step towards a smile you'll love? Visit Invisalign.com/NFL and find a doctor near you today. Transform your smile and take your confidence to the next level, both on the field and off.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Heck of a win, fellas.
Coach, the Cowboys beat us by 30 points.
No, I'm talking about my dog. He started eating fresh food from the farmer's dog and has lost 7 pounds.
Your senior dog with joint issues?
That's right, Steven. The pre-portioned meals of real meat and veggies help keep him lean, active, and feeling like a puppy again.
That's incredible. But what about the game?
The Cowboys smoked us. Hit the field, run some sprints.
Get 50% off your first box of the official pet food of the Dallas Cowboys. Only at thefarmersdog.com/Cowboys.
How does the cheerleader's hair always look so perfect? We asked, and they shared one of their biggest beauty secrets. If you want hair like theirs and confidence to match, use Babyliss Pro styling tools. The Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders use Babyliss Pro curling irons to get those perfect game day curls. To get the hair you see on the cheerleaders, head to BabylissPro.com. Use the code Cowboys20 for 20% off Babyliss Pro tools, the official styling tools of the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Get the discount while it lasts. Offer may be withdrawn at any time at advertiser's discretion.
The Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year Award, presented by Nationwide, recognizes NFL players who have exhibited excellence on the field and whose passion to impact lives extends beyond the game. Help Dallas Cowboys club winner Solomon Thomas raise funds for the defensive line by casting your charity challenge vote at NFL.com/Man of the Year or tweet using the hashtag WPMOY challenge.
Go ahead and vote right now. Like I said, welcome back into Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign in the SWBC studio. Nicole Hutchison, Brianna Aldridge, Christy Scales, Aisha Morrison, and ladies, as continuing, not necessarily Trevon Diggs conversation, but the cornerbacks in the secondary conversation. Talk about that room. No, you're stressed. I'm sorry.
I'm not the...
My bad. So far, we still have Deron Bland, who is out with injury right now for the rest of the season. You still have Triquez Bridges. You have Savone Revel, the rookie. Josh Butler, who hadn't, seen the field all season long. Thoughts on just the cornerback room that we have as of right now?
Yeah. Kalen Carson.
Too.
Yeah, the other thing about Josh Butler, when you make the move with Trevon, it opens up a roster spot. And so that's another reason for the timing this week is that, you could, whether it's Josh Butler or maybe you could use the spot for like a Phil Maffa if you wanted him at running back to come off and be available for come off IR and be available for Sunday in New York. That's a possibility as well. But I think that, Aisha, how high is cornerback on your position group need list?
It's high.
Heading into the draft.
It is extremely high because I was literally just about to say in response to your questions, Dallas needs to handle corner like we don't got none. They need to be, and I know that sounds harsh, but these gentlemen, like when Jerry spoke about the cornerback room and he was kind of talking about the guys, he was like, oh, the timing and, you know, some of the personnel and stuff. Unfortunately, you gentlemen knew this at the start of the season. You knew that Trevon was coming off of an injury. You knew that Savon Ravel was coming off an injury. You knew that Caitlin Carson was coming off an injury. You went and got Triquez Bridges. You had to go get Reddy Stewart. Like, you knew that Josh Butler was coming off of injury.
And you let Jordan Lewis go.
Jordan Lewis go.
Yeah.
You knew coming into this season that your cornerback room, I mean, just based off the fact that a lot of these gentlemen were coming off of injury, and then for a lot of them to feel somewhat the pressure to go out there and play because the depth was not adequate. And I mean, I get it. I know you can't plan for, you know, a certain amount of guys getting hurt and stuff, but in this situation, you came into this season knowing that most of your cornerback room was coming off of injury. And so, I mean, what did we expect? What did you ladies expect? We talked about it. What did we expect?
Well, and then throw one more wrench in. Throw one more wrench in.
Go ahead.
Besides the personnel is right before the season starts, you trade your best pass rusher. And to your point in the first segment, Aisha, of, you know, the corners, the secondary's not getting help from a pass rush.
Talk about it, and that's a part of it too.
Help.
And we can't forget that they brought in a Kyrie Elam, who they thought was going to be, you know, a
and I'm gonna tell you, that's what I mean. It's like all of it was a lot of, to me, I thought it was a lot of Band-Aids. It's a lot of Band-Aids, a lot of wishful thinking.
Yeah.
We were hopeful. And I think us ladies were too. We were hopeful that some of these gentlemen were able to come in and play well and take
a new system.
Yes, ma'am.
And a new position coach.
It's been too much. It's too much. I've been saying that since the other day. It is so much. It was so much for this secondary to overcome at this point. And especially since they're not even overcoming all the stuff that Christy named, they're also overcoming, like I said, on a base level, coming off of every single one of them, coming off of pretty serious injuries that required surgery. Deron Bland, he had a foot surgery last year. I mean, like, every single one of them was coming off of a lower body extremity injury. It was kind of like a bad situation to be in for the secondary to start, in my opinion, ladies.
Yeah. Going into the draft, it's a clear need. Looking at the list right now, to Nicole's point, asking about how we feel about the room, none of those names are getting you hyped up about next season.
That's my point.
You're looking at rotational players at best, outside of maybe Revel taking that big jump in year 2 like you're kind of hoping for. But, I mean, I don't even know how Caitlin Carson fits on this team. That question for me wasn't answered this season. I mean, he still can't stay healthy, if you will, and that's been the story since he got here. And then, I mean, we saw what you got out of Bridges. You saw what you got out of Reddy Stewart, and I think that was a Band-Aid for this year. That wasn't something, you know, people are like, nothing we saw that's going to come over into next season. But yeah, I feel the same. You were doing this.
I'm very pleased.
That's what we were all doing, and had faith that there's like a crazy stat of how many games Deron Bland and Trevon Diggs actually played together. Yeah,
it's a handful.
They are just cursed. They can't stay healthy together, and that's what, again, you were hoping for, and you didn't get it, and here we are.
I got a question. Because we've been talking about this same thing since I got here in 2023.
She's sick.
And I just want to know, because, like, Christy, Aisha, y'all been here, like, you know, beyond 2023. Was this always the case where, you know, they just put, so to speak, Band-Aids on top of Band-Aids on top of
yes.
Band-Aids?
And it's not
wishful thinking.
Always is a little strong, but it usually goes in ebbs and flows by position group. And this isn't something that is specifically related to Cowboys. Look around the league. This is every team, every year. And when you commit, especially the way that resources with the Cowboys recently have been committed to offense, right? I mean, look at all the money that's on that side of the ball.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you can't keep, when I say they let Jordan Lewis go, I don't mean released or waived. We're talking about him getting a better deal in free agency and going to Jacksonville and doing the right thing for Jordan Lewis. And they just couldn't budget enough money to keep him. Would everyone love to keep him? Absolutely. Absolutely the right kind of guy, a warrior, playing through a career-threatening foot surgery. And I don't want to get, too much onto that. But my point is, in answer to your question, Nicole, it's Band-Aids around the league at most position groups because it depends which position groups all the money is committed to, right? Team by team.
Yeah, it's also I wouldn't even call it like the Band-Aids because, I mean, again, Dallas does do the Band-Aid thing when they have a guy get injured and things like that. It's also about the misses.
Yeah.
It's also about the mistakes that you've made in drafting defense because, again, there's gentlemen that they have drafted on this pass rush right now that you were looking to take a step that might have helped out that secondary.
Yeah.
And then you also talk about the secondary guys that you have picked up that didn't help you the way in which you thought they were going to show up. It's also coaching. It's also the changes in regimes. It's a lot of it. And that's why I was saying, we've been talking about next season, moving forward to next season. One of the only pros I think comes from this situation that I'm hoping is that there's been such a glaring light on, to Christy's point, the finances, the resources on the defensive side, and how it has not been, to this point, you've had so many mistakes and things happen over there that it's really affecting you. It's really affecting you. And so for me, to me, it's not about the Band-Aids. It's about not just the Band-Aids. It's what is happening that you are having to put Band-Aids on stuff. And a lot of that is, unfortunately, misevaluation, which happens. It happens. Misevaluations happen. Sometimes guys don't translate. It's about changes in coaching and guys not adjusting to. It's a whole bunch, like we talked about. It's a culmination of a whole bunch of stuff. But how do you put yourself in position to not having to keep consistently do the Band-Aid thing? A couple Band-Aids, Band-Aids during the season is normal. But when you're going into the season having to put Band-Aids on, I think that you already are kind of putting yourself in a bad position.
Yeah, look, before this season, you're looking at the secondary. Remember last year at training camp, all of the defensive linemen they were bringing in, specifically defensive tackles.
Carl Lawson.
Right?
Got Carl Lawson from that time.
So, but I'm just saying it kind of, it's a pendulum, right?
Yeah.
And it swings back and forth, or maybe Wheel of Fortune is a better. You spin the wheel and whatever it lands on, and it just happened to be defense and particularly secondary this year.
Also, my bad.
Oh no, I was just saying I hate to think about the Eagles at a time like this when we don't have no postseason to talk about. But when that's their story, they're on a budget on defense because they, to your point, most of those starters
they drafted and they hit.
Yeah, they hit on it. That's and they've had consistency in their defensive staff with Fangio and the like, playing that system and drafting to that. So, yeah, I think Aisha's point is well taken in terms of all of the different things that are involved.
They be missing too, though.
Yeah.
They be missing too. But, you got to give yourself wiggle room to miss.
Yeah.
Because their front seven makes up for them missing in the beginning. Because their secondary, Kyler Ringo was getting work. You hear me?
Yeah.
What's that dude name? What's that man name? Anyway, Adoree Jackson was getting worked, but they drafted these other guys, these young guys, and they gave them time to fit into being starters. This is also a development issue where guys are not getting the opportunity. With Savon Ravel out there, I'm praying and fasting for his confidence. Because this is a guy that's a player. And ACLs are not career injuries anymore. Guys come back and play well. It just is what it is. He young, stem cells out still. He be all right. But you don't see, I don't want him to lose confidence because of what's happening. And it's like, if you're not getting him an opportunity to bridge, then you're not, it's just a bad setup all the way around. You know what I'm saying?
Does it change y'all's standpoint on the consistency in maintaining the same staff then? Because, hearing Jerry talk about it yesterday, he obviously was like, it's not just Eberflus's fault that this defense has struggled. It's the execution on the field as well. But you just mentioned it, of course, the injuries and things like that. but the coaching staff has not stayed consistent. They've had 3 different coordinators, 3 different staffs in the past 3 years. So does that change y'all's standpoint on trying to fix the scheme, keeping the person, like the coaching staff here, or which way would y'all go? Okay.
Well, no, you can even extrapolate it further and say 4 and 6 years, because when Mike McCarthy came in, they had Mike Nolan as the defensive coordinator, and that was a very difficult season for our defense. And Mike Nolan lasted only 1 season. So, I think that's the number one thing as soon as the season ends. I think that's the number one on the agenda in the postseason meeting is to make a decision.
To make it fast and not stall, because they don't have room to that. Like, they need to have this decided before you go into the draft and have time to, okay, how are we making this defense stronger? I think Jerry Jones gets it like 110%, more than maybe in the past, especially because all the money that is going to Christy's point earlier into the offense. You can't have the highest paid quarterback in the league, one of the highest paid receivers, possibly 2 of the highest paid receivers. Who else did they just
the offensive line, Tyler Smith, and
I'm
all
like,
that.
what am I missing? Who just signed
Ferguson and Tyler Smith?
You can't. Yeah, there's no excuses at this point. There's nowhere to hide. I feel like at this point with the defense, they have been exposed in the worst way.
The other thing is, if you make a change, this is across the league, not just exclusive to Cowboys, but if you make a change at coordinator, some of your position group coaches below that are going to change too, because if you bring in somebody new, they're going to want to bring in their own people or people who are used to coaching that kind of system and things. So it's not just about one person. Yeah. It's the staff on one side of the ball, oftentimes.
Yeah, and to your point, Bree, if they do. That's the thing too, is like, if you are going to have that many gentlemen that you're paying that much money to, then you got to hit on the draft. Then you got to be able to. Then you have to have guys that are able to come in and help your team kind of in an immediate way, because they're going to be for the cheap.
Which sucks, because now as a young player, you ain't got no time to develop, really.
I mean, but that's my point, is that they're not getting the time. I mean, you got Shamar James that had to be out there right away, and him's a nugget, and that's just because Band-Aids continue to do that. And so, I agree. I feel like a lot of this has to do with how things are handled, and I totally agree that there is a light shining on this in a way. And I took that away from Jerry's comments the other day too, is that it does sound like he has an understanding, like you said, Bree, of the fact that they got to make some changes. Like, they have to do something. And in regard to the coaching changes and things like that, there's part of me that really values the continuity and things like that, and I think it can be valuable. But that's just kind of what this league is now. Amen. Listen, there's a lot of jobs that, like, I don't know how you ladies, I mean, maybe Christy can speak to it, but, like, I feel like every year there's a lot of jobs available. There's a lot of guys. Like, it feels like the turnover, and I could be wrong, like I said, correct me. Is this turnover normal? Because we're seeing turnover in other teams, too. Yeah. I know we're focusing on the Cowboys, but there's a lot of teams changing coordinators, losing coordinators. I mean, look at the Lions. They lost. You get good coordinators, they good, they going to go get jobs. So you need to be able to adapt and to be able to implement an identity, or whatever the case may be, that you got to know what you want to be. So when you have to bring other guys in, because inevitably you are, like, people are going to get jobs elsewhere. They're going to move up. That it can still, like, flow. There can still be some fluidity in how you do things. So I think that's the important part about the defense, is establishing as an organization, what the heck do you want to be? What type of defense do you want to be? And so when you go looking for new coaches, because you're going to have to, when you have to go get new coordinators, when people get jobs, you can at least have like a cheat sheet of exactly what it is you're looking for in a coach. So we're not finding out, like, it's not a surprise 5 weeks in that the coach that you have don't want to blitz nobody. It's not a surprise. You should know that. And that would be married to what you want to do offensively. So
to what Jerry said, though, in his interview yesterday about it's not all on Eberflus, I think there is some fair questions that could be asked for the position coaches. To your point, when you're talking about the cornerbacks, just talking about footwork and how things look off, I have questions about the defensive line about why is there seem so much drop off from some people that had such high expectations. Like, I think there's a lot of fair questions go around, and when you get a new coordinator, typically there's a wash, and with Eberflus, he brought in a lot of his people, so it's gonna be something to watch for sure. But it's gonna tell you how much, if what everything has been saying to us with the coaches in the front office about Eberflus and standing, not throwing him on the bus, you're gonna see really how much they believe in Bodden, because there are, to your point, other teams across the league that have the turnover on one side of the ball more than other, and they stick it through because they still bought in. So I think we're going to very quickly see if the front office is bought into what is being sold.
You know what else is going to be something great to watch?
What's that?
Please don't. Please.
Girls Talk, Boys Talk, because we got to take our second break here on Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign. Up next, we got New Year's resolutions, but for this team edition. We'll be right back. We're going to take our second break. Come back with more.
Heck of a win, fellas.
Coach, the Cowboys beat us by 30 points.
No, I'm talking about my dog. He started eating fresh food from the farmer's dog and has lost 7 pounds.
Your senior dog with joint issues?
That's right, Steven. The pre-portioned meals of real meat and veggies help keep him lean, active, and feeling like a puppy again.
That's incredible. But what about the game?
The Cowboys smoked us. Hit the field, run some sprints.
Get 50% off your first box of the official pet food of the Dallas Cowboys. Only at thefarmersdog.com/Cowboys.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
When you're on the field, you know what it takes to lead your team and play with confidence. But that confidence shouldn't just stop at game time. It should follow you off the field, too. Join over 500 NFL players who trust Invisalign, the #1 doctor-recommended clear aligner brand. Ready to take the first step towards a smile you'll love? Visit Invisalign.com/NFL and find a doctor near you today. Transform your smile and take your confidence to the next level, both on the field and off.
All right, Cowboys fans, this one's for us. If the men in your life bleed blue and silver like we do, I've found the perfect way to elevate their game day rituals. Gillette just released their best razor in Cowboys colors, and it is everything a Cowboys fan could want. The new Gillette Labs official Dallas Cowboys licensed razor combines his Cowboys pride with Gillette's best shave. And with 50% longer lasting blades, it is truly the gift that keeps on giving. Get it while you can at Gillette.com/NFL. Gillette's best shave is also available as heated.
Cowboys Nation, Tom Gibson has been named your 2025 Dallas Cowboys Fan of the Year, presented by Captain Morgan for his dedication to the team and spicing up the game. Vote for Tom to be named the ultimate NFL Fan of the Year at NFL.com/Fan of the Year.
Welcome back into Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign in the SWBC studio. I'm Nicole Hutchison alongside Brianna Aldridge, Chrissy Scales, Aisha Morrison. Ladies, it's time for New Year's resolutions. Are you ready for this? Because it's New Year! Heck yeah!
It's insane.
Let's go.
It's about to be
2026.
That's
actually kind of sick. Time went by really fast. Did y'all think it went by fast?
It did.
It did. It didn't feel like it day by day.
It didn't.
But
looking back, I'm like, oh, I got time. I can do this. And I'm like, time's up. Time's up.
You're sick.
You took a deep breath. Was it a gulp?
Don't worry about me.
Okay. Wow.
He's funny.
All right, who wants to go first? New Year's resolutions for the team.
Yeah. Go, Nicole. You're first.
Well, I gotta go first.
I know, because what? What do you mean New Year's resolution? We need to win. Lord Jesus.
Yeah, that part.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. I want my New Year's resolution to be making sure that they find people that fit the culture, and also fit the scheme. Like, let's just focus on that.
That's a big one.
That's a big one. But I think that it's possible in 2026. I'm gonna go with that.
Your hand motion.
Let's do that.
That's a big one. She had to show us like
a big one. It's fine.
It was big.
But I think it's possible. It's possible.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm done.
Okay, I'll go next because you went macro, and I'll go. Yeah, I want him to bring back George Pickens.
Okay.
I do because it was just so. The offense was so dynamic this year, so fun to watch, and even when you had CD out with injury for midseason, the pass game was still going with Pickens out there, stepping up, and they just make each other better. And it opens so many more things for this offense. And I can't tell you how much fun it was to watch that offense this year. Just absolute fun.
I agree.
And I want to keep that going. So that's my resolution is to spend Jerry's money by bringing back George Pickens.
Mine is kind of like piece of yours, so I guess a little bit broader.
Okay.
The resolution would be to go to Oxnard and it just be about football.
Ooh.
No contracts. I know.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I like that.
Just keep it small.
Do you think that's realistic though?
More than yours.
My God.
Hers is really big.
That is.
My God, today.
I've been
do that for years.
I mean, but I feel like it's a new year. You know how some people say new year, new me? That's what everybody say.
Hey, I got a little faith in that though because I thought you just talked about the offensive side of the ball. Shadi was able to kind of construct that the way that he wanted to.
Yes.
If there is continuity in the conversations of how they want to construct the, and there are some. I know we can't talk about Chris, we can't name no names, but there are some defensive coordinators outside of the one that's in Minnesota that are gonna be available, and that's I agree with Bree is that you got to jump on it. Last year they waited forever. They was jump on it. You need to as soon as the season is over, you need to be trying to nip this in the bud because the guys that are in the running, it's competitive.
Yep.
It's competitive. You got to compete. I'm looking for the front office to also compete. You hear me? Now my resolution is. I feel like mine is kind of simple, I guess. My resolution is that they continue the little bit of the vibe that they had about the trade deadlines and stuff.
Yes.
Stay aggressive.
Yeah.
Listen, don't do that. Like, I didn't really look at what they did with Pickens and with Quinnen as aggressive, but just keep that same energy. Be willing to go get it when you need to go get it. Look. Just throw it in the bag. I need you to still and then when you go do it, go getting the best. Yeah. It's okay. Like you're gonna have role player guys, but they got one of the best, one of the best wide receivers in football this year. You went and got.
Yep.
You invested in for this year. Okay, Quinnen Williams, one of the best defensive players in the NFL. You went and got. That's what I want. Go get the best. If you have to fill some of these roles, and if you have the money, continue to stay aggressive about that stuff.
Well, like Jerry says, he doesn't have time to have a bad time. No, he says it all the time.
Yeah.
Our resolutions make perfect sense.
I think they do. I think these were some good resolutions. Mine was a little asking for a lot, but it's fine because it's the new year. That's the point.
You have to aim high, Nicole.
Right?
Aim high.
Because why not?
We're going to need therapy again.
Don't wish that on us.
I already do. This has stressed me out. You hear me? I'm tired.
They're not about to stress me out.
Facts. I don't like it.
Not in 2026.
Real fast, because you talk about being aggressive, going out and get it. When you talk about best players in the draft right now, is that what you're trying to say as well in the draft? Be aggressive, like BPA?
I mean, they definitely can go BPA because, baby, you need a little bit of something, everything. You hear me? So I'm cool with BPA, but when I talk about being aggressive too, it's like, yeah, they already have the draft picks, they already have some capital, they have some stuff that they can work with. I just want them to want to go get guys to win. Like even on the coaching side, like go get guys that want to, you can sense that they want to win. You ain't got time. Like, your division is kind of in this weird place again. And also, too, the NFC, y'all, the NFC is competitive. Have you taken a second to look at the AFC and what it takes to get in the playoffs over there?
Yeah.
Look at the NFC. You got to win 10
except the
games.
NFC South.
Yeah, that's
a different story.
But guess who the Cowboys and the NFC East get next year? The NFC West.
And the NFC West.
So, so you're going to
They're
play
good.
you're going to play the 49ers, the Seahawks, the Rams, and the Cardinals.
You're going to have to compete.
Yeah.
You got to compete.
And you're going to have a second place schedule, so you're going to play second place teams.
That's what I'm saying.
From the north and south.
Let's turn it up a little bit. Come on.
Well, let's turn up a little bit, but
it's New Year's
Eve.
Eve.
Yeah, for New Year's Eve. We can't turn up anymore on the show until Monday, though, because we start our off-season schedule starting Monday. Girls Talk, Boys Talk will be Mondays, every Monday at 10 a.m. No more 8 a.m. Oh,
we sleep in a little bit.
But now you guys can sleep in a little bit. What's y'all's favorite memory from the season? Real fast. We got like 30 seconds.
Oh, gosh. That's too hard. Pass. I'll come back. Let me think about it.
Mine was when they was Pickens during the season. No, was Pickens during the season?
You said Pickens?
Like when they picked up Pickens.
Off-season.
Yeah, the offseason they traded for him.
Tater tots.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it would be the Quentin Williams thing because I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe my eyes. Dallas went out and got one of the best defensive tackles in football, and defensive tackle has been pushed to the side in a way for a long time. That made me happy.
My favorite moment has been every win because we get to see Shadi go, touchdown by so-and-so, yay! Yeah, that's been my favorite moments. All right, Bree, Christy, what y'all got?
I'll go with the Giants.
Cool.
That first one?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah.
There we go.
Brandon Aubrey against the Giants.
There we go. We love that. All right. Shout out to Shadi. Hopefully they get their second win against the Giants on Sunday. It's a noon kickoff. But again, we'll be back here Mondays, 10 a.m. Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign. For Brianna Aldridge, Christy Scales, Aisha Morrison, I'm Nicole Hutchison. We'll see y'all back here next week.
Happy New Year.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?